And it sat with them to approve me to be able to be in the film, to go against the studio who tried to keep me out because they felt it was too imbalanced. He was well known and I wasn't.
Imagine this. You're in a quiet, upscale neighborhood, far from the prying eyes of Hollywood's brightest stars. The home before you isn't just any mansion. It's the private sanctuary of one of the most iconic names in film history, Robert Redford, a man who's built a legendary career, directing timeless classics and starring in roles that defined generations. Yet what's hidden behind the walls of this stunning estate is something so shocking it could change everything we thought we knew about the man behind the silver screen. When news broke that federal agents had entered Redford's home, the world was stunned. This wasn't a routine visit. This wasn't about something minor. The FBI, notorious for investigating the most high-profile cases, had come to uncover something that, until that moment, no one ever imagined existed. What they found inside Redford's mansion sent shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond. It was a discovery so unexpected that it left even the most seasoned investigators frozen in disbelief. But what could have been so dangerous, so hidden, that even the FBI needed to get involved? Was it something related to his years in the spotlight? Or was it a secret far darker, buried beneath decades of fame and fortune? Today we're diving deep into the shocking discovery that no one expected to find. And trust us, this is something you won't want to miss. Robert Redford is a name synonymous with Hollywood royalty. With a career spanning over 6 decades, he has built a legacy that few can rival. Known for his captivating performances in films like Butch Cassidy and The Sundance Kid and The Sting, Redford not only became one of the most respected actors in the world, but also an influential filmmaker and philanthropist. He redefined the image of the American leading man, effortlessly blending charm, depth, and a rugged authenticity that resonated with audiences across the globe. Born in Santa Monica, California in 1936, Redford's early life wasn't as glamorous as his later years would suggest. His youth was marked by struggle and uncertainty, but he eventually found his true calling in the world of acting and cinema. Redford's rise to fame began in the 1960s, but it was in the 1970s that he truly solidified his status as a Hollywood legend. The iconic role of Sundance Kid turned him into a cultural symbol, and the chemistry he shared with Paul Newman on screen created a dynamic duo that remains etched in movie history. However, Redford's talents weren't confined to just acting. In the 1980s, he expanded his career to include directing, where he quickly became known for his sharp storytelling and commitment to authenticity. Films like Ordinary People, 1980, which won him the Academy Award for Best Director, showcased his depth as a filmmaker and his ability to bring complex human emotions to life on screen. But beyond his film career, Redford has always maintained a sense of privacy, keeping his personal life far from the limelight. He built a carefully crafted image of an enigmatic star, one who was deeply passionate about environmental causes, the arts, and preserving the legacy of independent cinema. As the founder of the Sundance Institute and the Sundance Film Festival, Redford has played an instrumental role in launching the careers of countless filmmakers, championing the voices of independent artists long before they became household names. Yet despite all of his achievements, Robert Redford has remained a mystery in many ways. His personal life, although filled with success, has been kept largely under wraps. Behind the fame, there's a man who has faced his own struggles that might hold the key to the shocking discovery we're about to unveil. Robert Redford's mansion is not just a house, it's a reflection of his life, his tastes, and his commitment to privacy. Nestled in the scenic hills of Utah, just outside of Park City, this sprawling estate is a world away from the hustle and bustle of Hollywood. The mansion, which spans over 30 acres, offers breathtaking views of the surrounding mountains, a perfect haven for someone who has always cherished peace and solitude. It's a far cry from the paparazzi-filled streets of Los Angeles, and in many ways, it embodies Redford's desire to retreat from the public eye. The architecture is stunning, a mix of rustic charm and modern elegance with natural stone walls, high wooden beams, and large windows that bring the outdoors inside. It's a home designed for someone who values nature and serenity. Redford, a known advocate for environmental preservation, has poured his energy into maintaining the land around the mansion. The estate is a sanctuary, both for him and for the various animals that inhabit the property. It's a place where Redford can relax, unwind, and focus on the causes that matter most to him. Inside the mansion, the decor is equally as stunning, filled with pieces of art, rare antiques, and personal mementos that tell the story of a man who's lived a full life. The walls are adorned with paintings and sculptures, many of which reflect Redford's love for contemporary art and the natural world. Despite the opulence of the mansion, there's a warmth to it, a feeling that this is not a showpiece but a home built for comfort and personal reflection. But behind the grandeur of the estate, there are whispers that suggest this home is hiding something far darker. What could be so hidden, so secret, that even the FBI would be drawn to investigate? As we explore the mansion's history and the events leading up to that fateful day, one thing becomes clear. This mansion is more than just a beautiful retreat. It's a place where secrets are kept, and some of them may be more dangerous than anyone could have imagined. The day the FBI arrived at Robert Redford's mansion, no one expected what they would find. The agents, who were initially investigating a routine matter, quickly discovered something that no one could have predicted. What they stumbled upon sent shockwaves not only through Redford's tight-knit circle, but through the entire Hollywood community. The search was prompted by a series of cryptic reports that had surfaced months before. Unusual activity surrounding Redford's estate had been noted by local authorities, something far beyond the ordinary. There were whispers of strange shipments arriving at the mansion, late-night meetings with individuals whose identities were shrouded in mystery, and even rumors of a hidden room within the mansion that no one had ever seen. Redford had always been a man who kept his personal life well guarded, but these odd occurrences raised suspicions that something far deeper was at play. When the FBI arrived, they weren't expecting to uncover the hidden trove of items that had been stored away for years. The agents were initially led to a secret room beneath the mansion, a place that had been locked away from prying eyes. It was a room so secretive that not even Redford's closest associates had known about it. Inside, the agents found a collection of items that left them speechless. Among the findings were rare, never-before-seen film reels, some of which were reportedly made during Redford's early years in Hollywood. These films, according to experts, contained footage that was believed to have been lost for decades, footage of long-forgotten collaborations with other A-list actors and directors. The material was of such historic value that it had the potential to change the narrative of Redford's career and even the history of Hollywood itself. But it wasn't just the films that stunned the investigators. Alongside them, the FBI found an array of personal documents, journals, and handwritten notes. These items were so deeply personal that they revealed parts of Redford's life that had been carefully hidden from the public eye. The journals were filled with reflections on his relationships, his struggles with fame, and his fears about the future. There were also documents that seemed to allude to a series of deals and collaborations that were never made public, deals that may have involved powerful figures in Hollywood, some of whom were no longer alive to confirm or deny them. However, it wasn't just the Hollywood secrets that caused concern. Some of the items found in the room raised even more questions. Strange artifacts and objects, some dating back to the early 20th century, hinted at a side of Redford that no one had ever imagined. These discoveries were more than just memorabilia. They suggested that Redford may have been involved in something much darker than anyone could have ever guessed. What was he hiding? What had been stored away for so many years in the depths of his mansion? The discovery was so shocking that it left even the most experienced investigators stunned and searching for answers. After the shocking discovery inside Robert Redford's mansion, the investigation only deepened. The FBI was left with more questions than answers, and they knew this wasn't a case they could solve overnight. The items they had found, from rare film footage to cryptic documents, suggested that there was far more to Redford's life than anyone had ever suspected. What had led him to keep such things hidden for decades? What was the connection between these artifacts and the man we all thought we knew? The first step in the investigation was piecing together how these items had remained hidden for so long. Redford's mansion was, by all accounts, a fortress of privacy. The rooms, hallways, and hidden spaces were meticulously designed to protect not just his belongings, but his personal life. The FBI began to wonder how much Redford's closest associates knew about the secret room. Was this something only he knew about? Or had he confided in others, keeping them complicit in his hidden life? The FBI's investigation quickly uncovered that the rare footage found in the hidden room wasn't just significant because of its historical value. It was also connected to a series of strange transactions. It appeared that Redford had made private deals with various people in the industry, some of whom were no longer around to speak for themselves. These deals had been kept under wraps for decades, and many of them hinted at a side of Hollywood history that had been deliberately erased. The more the FBI dug into these deals, the more they realized that Redford had been involved in a complex web of power players and secret projects that no one had ever suspected. Further complicating the investigation were the journals and personal notes that Redford had kept. These writings revealed deep emotional struggles, but they also alluded to something much more mysterious. In the journals, Redford seemed to reference people who had vanished from public life, people whose names hadn't been spoken in years. There were mentions of private meetings, cryptic phrases, and coded references that suggested Redford had known about, or even been involved in, events that had long been buried by Hollywood elites. But the biggest revelation came when the FBI uncovered a strange document in one of the journals. The document appeared to be a map, an old, weathered map that led to a location somewhere in the wilderness of Utah. What could this map be pointing to? Could it be linked to the hidden artifacts, or perhaps even to a secret that Redford had never shared with anyone? The investigation was far from over, but with every new discovery, the agents knew they were uncovering something far bigger than a simple case of hidden memorabilia. They were unraveling a mystery that could change everything we thought we knew about Robert Redford and Hollywood itself. As the investigation into Robert Redford's mansion continued, the discovery began to take on a much larger significance. It was no longer just about hidden footage or long-forgotten documents. What the FBI had uncovered seemed to indicate that Redford had lived a life far more complex and layered than anyone could have imagined. What did these discoveries mean for the legendary actor, director, and philanthropist? And more importantly, what did they say about his true persona? For decades, Robert Redford had carefully cultivated an image of the enigmatic, private star, someone who cherished his privacy and was often seen as a distant figure from the Hollywood machine. While his public life had been well documented, his personal world remained largely out of reach. The mansion, and the secrets it held, had become a reflection of that divide, a place where the public's perception of Redford met the private man he had fought to keep hidden. The rare footage found in the mansion wasn't just a rediscovery of lost film. It was a window into a side of Redford's career that had been deliberately erased. The FBI's findings suggested that Redford had worked on numerous projects behind the scenes, many of which had never seen the light of day. These projects, which had been locked away in private rooms and hidden in his estate, held the potential to reveal a whole new side of his career. But why keep them secret for so long? The footage seemed to show a different Redford, someone more experimental, perhaps even more radical than the polished image the public knew. The personal documents and journals added another layer of complexity. Redford had written about his struggles with fame, his relationships with other stars, and the pressure that came with being one of Hollywood's most beloved figures. These documents didn't just paint a picture of the man behind the legend. They revealed that even the most private of individuals have their own dark corners, their own regrets, and their own secrets. The writings hinted at an inner turmoil, a side of Redford that no one had ever seen. But it was the map that truly left everyone puzzled. What was it pointing to? The map, seemingly connected to something far older, might be the key to understanding Redford's secret life. Could it lead to something far more than just hidden film footage or old Hollywood memorabilia? Was it a clue that Redford had been protecting something larger, something that could alter the way we view him, not just as an actor, but as a man who had lived his life by his own rules? As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that the discoveries found in Redford's mansion didn't just threaten to rewrite his personal history. they had the potential to rewrite Hollywood's history as a whole. Robert Redford's public persona has always been carefully crafted. To the world, he's the quintessential Hollywood star, handsome, talented, and deeply private. He's a man who has consistently shied away from the spotlight, preferring to let his work speak for itself. Yet, as the FBI's investigation into his mansion revealed, there's far more to the story of Robert Redford than what the public has seen. Behind the closed doors of his mansion, Redford had kept a life full of mysteries, hidden away from the world. The rare films, the cryptic journals, and the strange map uncovered by investigators all pointed to a man who had secrets far deeper than anyone could have imagined. These findings suggested that Redford may have been involved in much more than just acting and directing. The undisclosed projects and collaborations hinted at a darker, more complex side of Redford's life, a side that could involve powerful figures and long-buried secrets. In the pages of his journals, Redford opened up in ways that he never did publicly. The writings were filled with reflections on his life, his fears, and his ongoing battles with the pressures of fame. Yet they also contained hints of something more. The references to people who had disappeared, to projects that were never finished, and to dealings that were kept under wraps, all suggested that Redford may have had a hand in something far bigger than anyone realized. But why keep these parts of his life hidden? Some have speculated that Redford's secret life may have been tied to his involvement in political and social causes. A lifelong advocate for environmental preservation and social justice, Redford's commitment to these issues was well known. Could it be that his secret dealings were related to his activism? Did he uncover hidden truths about Hollywood or the world at large, truths that he felt needed to be protected? The question remains, what was Redford protecting? Was it simply a matter of privacy, or was there a more significant reason for his secrecy? As the investigation continues, one thing is clear. Robert Redford's legacy is far more complicated than anyone ever imagined. When news of the FBI's discovery in Robert Redford's mansion broke, the world reacted with a mix of shock, curiosity, and disbelief. Fans, Hollywood insiders, and the media were all caught off guard, with many struggling to comprehend what had been hidden behind the walls of the beloved actor's home. Redford, who had spent a lifetime cultivating an air of mystery, suddenly found himself at the center of a media storm. For decades, Redford had been seen as the epitome of Hollywood charm and class, a man who had successfully kept his personal life away from the tabloids. His carefully guarded privacy made the discovery all the more shocking. The revelation of hidden footage, cryptic journals, and mysterious documents sent journalists scrambling for answers. Everyone wanted to know, what had Robert Redford been hiding all these years? The media frenzy surrounding the discovery was intense. Every major news outlet jumped on the story, speculating about the significance of the findings. Some focused on the rare film footage, questioning why Redford had kept it locked away for so long. Others dug into the personal journals, eager to uncover the man behind the public figure. But it wasn't just the media that was captivated. Fans were equally mesmerized. Social media exploded with theories, questions, and wild speculation about Redford's secret life. Many fans struggled to reconcile the image they had of Redford with the mysterious new details that had emerged. Could the man they had admired for years really have been hiding something so significant? For some, the discovery was a betrayal of sorts, an affront to the image of Redford they had grown to love. For others, it only deepened their fascination, making him a more enigmatic figure than ever before. As the media continued to fuel the frenzy, Redford remained tight-lipped. His silence only added to the mystery, leaving the public to wonder, what else was he hiding? As the investigation unfolded and the media frenzy continued, the FBI uncovered one final twist that no one saw coming. Just when it seemed like everything had been exposed, a new shocking discovery was made. It wasn't just the rare film footage or the secret journals that had everyone talking. It was a mysterious piece of evidence that would change the entire narrative. Hidden beneath a floorboard in one of the mansion's oldest rooms, agents discovered a metal box. This box, unlike the other items they had found, was clearly designed to remain undisturbed. Inside there were documents, photographs, and artifacts that were so old they appeared to be from a different era. The box contained information that suggested Redford may have been involved in something far more covert and complex than anyone had ever imagined. The documents seemed to point to a connection between Redford and influential figures from not just Hollywood, but from political and social movements that had shaped history. There were references to private meetings with some of the most powerful people of the 20th century, individuals whose names were not often associated with Redford. The photographs, too, seemed to suggest that Redford had been involved in clandestine operations that went beyond his public image as an actor and director. What did this final twist reveal? Was Redford hiding a legacy tied to secret collaborations and high-stakes deals? Or was this just another mystery wrapped in intrigue? The discovery left everyone wondering, what was Robert Redford truly a part of? And why had he kept it hidden for so long? As the dust settles on the investigation into Robert Redford's mansion, one thing is certain: the man we thought we knew is far more enigmatic than we ever imagined. The hidden films, the cryptic journals, the final twist, each discovery revealed a side of Redford that remained shrouded in secrecy for decades. While we may never fully understand the depths of his private life, the revelation has only intensified the mystery surrounding this Hollywood icon. Was Redford a master of concealment, or was he protecting something far more valuable than anyone could have guessed? What do you think Redford was hiding? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more unbelievable celebrity stories. See you in the next video.